Jai Ho students, I am Ratnakar Suramshi from SK Public School. In the last class, we have learnt about the key features of the federalism, as well as we have learnt that which are the true routes through which federations have been formed. Those are coming together federations and holding together federations we have learned. So today we will learn the another concept, that is what makes India a federal country. Today we will take up a new concept in the federalism lesson, that is what makes India a federal country. I mean, what are the reasons, what are the factors considered to call India as a federal country. So about that we will learn today. See that already you know that the journey of the constitution you have learnt already, how the constitution have been brought. Before the constitution, you know that how India got freedom because of the sacrifice of various people. We got independence, that too after a long term of battle, long term of movement, fight, we got independence. And you know that how constitution was implemented or came into force after how many days, or what are the procedure followed by the writers of the constitution to implement it or to give it to ourselves. So all these things we have already learned, but say it is very important to understand about the constitution also here, to learn about why India is called a federal country. See that the constitution declared as a union of states. I mean, India is considered, or our constitutional declared India as a union of states, although it did not use a word called federation. I mean, in the constitution there is no word used called federation, but India is a federal country. Why? Because the principles of the federation or federalism have been implemented, have been taken in the union of states. I mean, in India, or in the administrative system of India, we have the key features or the principles of federalism. So those features or the principles of federalism are the base for our Indian Union. For our country, federal principles are the base. So now see that important point here, we learn that we can see that all these features, or like federal features, all these features or the things or the key features we have already learned of the federalism, all those we can apply to the provisions of the Indian Constitution. I mean, to the laws of the Indian Constitution we can apply the key features of the federalism. Then also we can understand that whether Indian government, Indian system, Indian administrative system has federal key features, federal principles or not. About that also we can come to know if we apply those 7 key features to the Indian administration, or to the provisions, or to the laws of the Indian Constitution. The constitutional originally provided for 2 tiers of government. You know that mainly, as I told you, constitution provided us 2 levels or 2 tiers of government, but we have at present 3 levels of government. Which are those 3 levels? Central government, state government and local self government. I mean the panchayat and the municipalities. Say mainly two, I can say that those are union government. I mean that union government is also called as a central government, and this central government is responsible to all the people who are living in this country, and the state government is responsible to the people who are living in that particular state. See, even we have, as I told you, third government or third tier of the government in the federalism was added later. That was added in the form of panchayats or in the form of municipalities. So as in any federation, these different tiers of government, different levels of governments enjoy separate jurisdiction. I mean, they enjoy their own power in their own map, in the particular or in the specified areas. They enjoy their own jurisdiction, they enjoy their own power, each level of the government. out of these three. And even see, the constitutional clearly provided a threefold distribution of legislative powers. I mean, see, all the legislative powers have been divided into threefold system. Into threefold system, all the powers have been divided. Which powers? Legislative powers. Then which are those threefold system? See that those three lists, we consider them as three lists. Those three lists, in these three lists only, all the legislative powers have been distributed. Main important point you have to understand that all the legislative powers have been divided or distributed between central and state government. Between central and state government, all the legislative powers have been distributed through three lists. Through what? Through three lists. Then which are those three lists? First one is union list. First one is union list. Second one is state list. Second one is state list. And the third one is concurrent list. Third one is concurrent list. So let's study about these three lists too. Say the union list includes subjects of national importance. I mean, the subjects which are important at national level, all those subjects are there in union list. For example, I'd like to tell you that defense of the country, national defense, protection of the country, army, as well as foreign affairs. Second one, foreign affairs, banking, communication, as well as currency. National defense as well as foreign affairs, banking, communications, as well as currency. All these subjects are there in union list. These are the important, just I told you. And see, there are these all the subjects included in the union list, and these are uniform across the country. Communication system is same across the country. Currency is also same. Indian rupees we use, same currency everywhere in all the states we use. Correct? No? Defense, it is uniform system of defense. National defense we have. Foreign affairs also, it is one uniformity we have in this. Even banking system also we are following the same in all the states in India. So all these are there in which list? In the union list. And say the subjects which are there in the union list, over those subjects, union government, I mean central government, has power to make laws. The subjects which are there in union list, over those subjects, central government or union government has power to make laws. So important point, you have to understand that the union government alone can make laws relating to the subjects which are there in the union list. Central government alone can make laws without the consent of state governments. Central government can make laws over the issues which are there in union list. Then second one is state list. See that state list contains the subjects of state and local importance. I mean state level which are the important matters are there, or the local important matters are there. About those, all the issues or all the matters, all the subjects are there in state list. For example, police is there. Police system we have trade, commerce, police, trade, commerce, as well as agriculture. Fourth one is agriculture, and fifth one is irrigation. Police, trade, commerce, agriculture, as well as irrigation. All these important issues or matters are there in a state list. And now you got one idea that who can make laws over these issues. State government alone can make laws over the subjects which are included in the state list or which are mentioned in the state list. So this is about state list. Then concurrent list. The third one is concurrent list. Say important point we can learn in this about the concurrent list here. about that also I would like to explain now. See, concurrent list, I mean the subjects over which state government as well as central government both have rights to make laws, those subjects are there in concurrent list. See, concurrent list includes subjects of common interest of both the central government as well as state governments, such as, then which are the important subjects which are there in concurrent list? Education is there in concurrent list. Which one? Education is there in concurrent list. Forests, trade unions, marriage, adoption and succession. See, education is there, forest as well as marriage, trade unions, adoption and succession. Adoption and succession. These are the important subjects which are there in concurrent list. And I told you that both the union as well as state governments can make laws over the issues which are there or which are included in the concurrent list. And if the laws conflict with each other, if think that over forest it is a subject existing or included in the concurrent list, if the state government also has brought one particular law about forest as well as central government also has brought one particular law, but both the laws have some conflicts, in that situation the law which is made by the union government, the law which is formed by the central government, that law will prevail, that law will stand, and the law which is prepared or which is made or passed by the state government, that would be withdrawn or that would be cancelled. So this is about concurrent list. So these are the three lists we have learned. Then one more question arises here. Then what about the subjects, what about the matters which are not included in any of these three lists? What about those who has power to make laws over those issues, over those subjects? Question arises commonly. So the subjects which are recently emerged, for example software technology, I am telling, software, computer software, it is recently grown up matter, grown up subject. So while writing constitution, this computer software wasn't there, so that's why it was not included in the union list, state list or in concurrent list. So the subjects which are recently emerged, all those subjects are called as residuary subjects. What are those called? All those subjects are called as residuary subjects. Once again I repeat, see, the subjects which are not included in any of these three means, or in any union list or in state list or in concurrent list, in these three lists the subjects which are not included, those subjects or those matters are called as residuary subjects. And over residuary subjects, central government, union government has power to make laws. Over residuary subjects, union government or central government has power to make laws. So these are the three list and residuary subjects. So this is the threefold distribution of legislative powers between central and state governments. And even see that here we can even more understand that there are some states. See, already you know that we have states, and recently the Jammu Kashmir was withdrawn from its situation of state and it is divided into two union territories. So this way there are some areas or there are some units or the regions in the country which cannot be declared as states, so that's why, but they cannot remain independent also, so that's why those could be merged. What? Those could be merged with states, but if those could be merged with states, then the administrative difficulties may arise, technical difficulties may arise, so that's why those could not be merged with any existing states. For example, I am telling Chandigarh is there, as well as Lakshadweep is there, even you can take Andaman Nicobar, Delhi is there. These are all called as union territories. All these are called as union territories, the areas or the regions which cannot be merged with any states, which are too small to declare them states and which could not be merged with other states. Those area, those regions are called as union territories. Delhi is union territory, Lakshadweep, as well as I told you Andaman Nicobar, or you can take Chandigarh, Diu Daman together now. So, and Ladakh is there, as well as Jammu is there. So these are the important union territories at present. And see that over union territories, central government has special powers. Over union territories, who has special powers? Central government has some special powers in the running those areas. In the administration of those areas, central government has special powers over union territories. And see, this sharing of power between the union government and the state governments is basic. It is a basic structure of the constitution. I mean, distribution of power between state and central government, it is a basic structure of the constitution, and it is not easy to make changes to this power sharing arrangement. It is very difficult to make changes in the power sharing system, which is being followed since from the implementation or enforcement of the constitution. The parliament cannot change or cannot its own change this arrangement. Parliament cannot on its own change the power sharing or the distribution of power arrangement between the central government and state government. So any change to it to be first passed by the both the houses, and what is required, and the state legislatures, at least half of the total states need to give their consent, need to give their acceptance. Then only changes could be brought to the sharing of power between the state and central government. As a once again I repeat, say the power sharing system between the central government and the state governments, it is the basic structure of the constitution, and it is not easy to bring changes or make changes to this power sharing system or arrangement, and parliament cannot on its own make changes to the power sharing arrangement of the country. But if I am telling, if the parliament wants to bring changes to this, or if the central government wants to bring changes in the power sharing system or arrangement of the country, then it has to be first passed through the both the houses. Which are those both the houses? Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. In both the houses of the parliament, that particular law to bring changes in the power sharing system between central and state government, that law has to be passed through the both the houses of the parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, with two-thirds of majority. With two-thirds majority, it has to be passed. Then it has to be sent to the state legislatures, I mean Vidhan Sabha we call, to the state legislatures. That law has to be sent, and at least 50% of the state legislatures, 50% of the state governments or the state legislatures, Vidhan Sabhas, has to give their acceptance, has to give their green signal to those changes. At least half, I mean 50% of the state legislatures has to give their acceptance to those changes or green signal to those changes. Then those changes could be implemented in the power sharing system between central union government and state governments. The judiciary plays an important role in overseeing and implementation of constitutional provisions and procedures. Our judicial system plays very, very important role in the overseeing, I mean in the verification and implementation of constitutional provisions, constitutional laws and the procedures. Whatever the things which are there in the constitutions, whatever the laws which are there in the constitutions, provisions which are there in the constitution, whether are those implemented or not, about those, judiciary will take care. So that's why judiciary plays very important role in this. In case of any dispute about the division of powers, the high courts and the supreme courts can make a decision. If about exercising power, if the state and central government has any dispute, then the high court or the supreme high courts or the supreme court can make decision. So the union and state governments has or have the power to raise resources by levying tax in order to carry on the government and the responsibilities assigned to each of them. See here, the union as well as state governments have their own powers to increase or to impose tax, to get resources, to get income, to carry their day-to-day administration of the government as well as to complete their responsibilities. They can, both state and central government can get or impose tax or levy tax. So this is the overall concept about what makes India a federal country. So hope you have understood. Then the next concept, we will get or we will learn in the next class. The next concept is how is federalism practiced in India? How is federalism practiced in India? So this topic about this concept of the federalism we will learn in the next class. So hope you have understood what makes India a federal country and about the 3 list and the residuary subjects. Thank you. Jai Hind.